Alright, so what's up you guys, it's your boy X, and today we are back at it again with another Granblue Fantasy Versus video. And for today we are taking a look at Djeeta. Now Djeeta dropped like 2 hours ago or something like that at the moment that I'm recording this, and I noticed that a lot of people were kind of having issues with the technical input attack that Djeeta has for Skybound Art. And I figured it would be nice to put out a tutorial for those who might be a bit confused on how this attack works or just having issues executing it altogether. And I'll be trying to explain this the easiest way that I could think of, along with some visual pointers along the way that help me get this down rather quickly, and hopefully you guys will follow right after this video as well. So let's get started on breaking this attack down. First up will be the complete notation of the attack itself, and to explain this I will use the universal fighting game notation. So that means that L means light, M means medium, H means heavy, and 214U is the quarter circle back movement. Now the combo itself goes as follows: LL, MM, HH, LMH, 214U. Now I will type this combo out in the non-FGC notation way in the description. However, I do recommend that if you aren't too familiar with these notations to start looking into them, because those will help you a ton when you're looking into other combos in pretty much any fighting game from here on out. And now that we know the combo itself, we can take a look into the differences between technical input and simple input, and the differences between the attack itself. She has a total of 2 ways to doing this attack. One is the simple input version of the attack, which doesn't make her transform into her eternal state, and her other way is the technical input, which does make her transform and takes manual inputs for you to follow through with the attack altogether. Now the tricky part about executing this move is doing her attacks as she goes manually, but I found it a lot easier after I figured out some key points that help me register when I should start the next sequence, aka press the next set of buttons. And this attack can be broken down in a total of 4 sequences altogether, so let's go through them real quick. So far the sequences we have is startup plus light attack, the medium attacks, the heavy attacks, and at last the final light, medium, heavy quarter circle back sequence to finish off the attack altogether. And the general tip I'm about to give isn't just for GBVS, but practically any fighting game you could think of. If you do see an attack that have these type of strings, make it your habit to break them down and walk it off step by step to understand what you're doing, when you're supposed to be doing it, and of course how to do it all together. And this always helped me figure out combos way quicker, and it also helped me making combos, because by doing these breakdowns like this, you get to understand which attacks allows follow-ups and so on, and it gives you more general knowledge about the combo structure that you're dealing with at that given time. Now tips aside, let's actually start breaking it down by looking at the first sequence of this Skybound Art. So for her first sequence we have her startup and the first button that we will be pressing, which will be a light. The first visual clue here is her smashing downwards to the ground. If you see her using her X, then you know you have successfully done her startup sequence. And after her doing this exact move, it should be the signal for you that you're ready to go into the next sequence, which are the medium buttons. Now the second sequence comes right after a light attack. Once we landed the initial light, we can go right into 2 mediums, which end at her doing an uppercut like move. Now this one is actually really easy to spot or register within the sequence itself, because the attack stands out of the bunch. So the moment you see her do the uppercut, which looks similar to her 2H, it's time to go into the third phase, which will be the heavy attacks. Now for the third sequence, we have her swinging her sword as a visual clue to go into the final few inputs. Even though that this is a really noticeable clue, I must say this goes by pretty quickly, so be aware of that. But after a while of practicing this string, you'll definitely catch the rhythm you're looking for, and you will rely less and less on the visual clues but more on the feeling. And luckily this game isn't really strict on inputs, so if you do happen to press a button a bit earlier or maybe even a bit on the late side, there's a great chance that you will still manage to go through with the attack. Now once we recognize the third sequence of the combo and got that all down and downloaded into our brains, we arrived at the very last part of the combo itself, which will be the light, medium, heavy 214U string to end off the attack altogether. Now this is definitely the easiest part of the attack in my opinion. This time we don't have to look for any clues, instead we can just press the 3 last buttons and wrap it up with the 214U movement. Now my guess is that the most people watching this video have their button layout structured as square for light, triangle for medium, and circle for heavy attacks. So if that is the case, you can pretty much just go from left to right pressing these buttons without thinking too much about it. Chances are that your buttons are structured a different way, and in that case of course this will differ for you. However, this still shouldn't be too much of an issue. And after we practice these sequences a few times over with the visual clues in mind, I'm pretty sure you guys will have it down in no time. Now hopefully this small guide was useful to some of you out there, and of course if you have any issues with certain combos for any character or this chain, then feel free to ask me right away in the comment section for some help. I will try and help as soon as I can and the best as I can, and with that said, that was all for today's video. So that was it for today guys. It was your boys LSJX. Stay happy, stay blessed, and I'm out. Peace.